Hi, I'm John Linney. I'm VP of Marketing for Yuneec USA, and we're here today to talk about the Typhoon H. When we announced the Typhoon H at CES, it won multiple Best of Show awards for its innovative design. It's the first time in such a compact and easy-to-use package that we've had 6-rotor flight safety. We've got an awesome 4K camera on a full 360-degree gimbal, and retractable gear. But I think the most exciting thing about the Typhoon H is the creative possibilities that it opens up through some of its automated flight modes. And today, to tell you the full story of that, we have Trent Segard. He has for many years been involved in the creative community. He's passionate about connecting organizations and individuals with their audiences. And despite his youthful appearances, brings many years of experience to the Yuneec team. So at Yuneec, when we develop a product, we really believe in not only listening to customers, but being the customer as far as possible. So as a product manager at Yuneec, Trent Segard really understands what it means to get that perfect shot. And a lot of that experience and know-how has really gone into helping us develop the Typhoon H. So without any further comment from me, I'd like to introduce Trent and get down to the serious business of really exploring the capabilities of Typhoon H as an aerial photography platform. So, Trent.
Thank you, John. So, we are here to talk about the Typhoon H. As a creative, I'm extremely excited about this platform. It's a very versatile platform, and there's a lot of different capabilities that go into using the Typhoon H. So, here's a little bit about my background. I have 8 years of experience in the creative space. Like John said, kind of helping businesses really connect to their customers, whether it be through social or content. I got into the drone space by selling, supporting, and repairing drones. And that really taught me a lot about the end customer, what they want. And after many years later, I've worked with companies such as Drone Dudes, done lots of live broadcasts from drones, been on many live sets, and drones are a lot of fun, let me tell you. So the first thing in using a drone in a creative way that is really important to understand is that the drone is a camera. It's that simple. You need to think about this drone not as an aircraft, but as a tool to create your vision, a tool that will enable you to get the shots that you need. So when we make aerial content, there's a few different types of content that I personally like to do with a drone. Obviously, there's photography and video. A lot of people are doing video, and I've actually found that when doing photography is a much easier medium to ingest. In video, people have to sit down and intentionally click, watch, and give their time. So posting photography is a much better way to engage your audience. I like to do panoramas. What you see on the screen is an aerial panorama that is vertical. That means that the panorama doesn't go from the left to the right. It's actually looking straight ahead and straight down as well at the same time. So we do photography and video and panoramas. A lot of people do aerial reels or aerial montages. But I think the thing that people really need to remember is that we use drones creatively to tell stories. And that's something that I think has really been lost over the last 3 years. Because the novelty of aerial cinematography has passed. We've reached the end of the beginning. Now that's actually really exciting because we've gone from a point where people are posting videos, just aerial montages, and to me, that gets quite boring. It's really about the story and using it just as another tool in your bag and not the only tool. So, on my last trip to China, going to the factory, there's a very beautiful ancient town about 10 minutes away from our factory. So, I took a Saturday off and I went to that ancient town. It's about 2,000 years old, has a lot of history, and as an outsider, it really interested me as a place that I want to tell its story, particularly because I had the opportunity to go to that place and I wanted to share it with my friends. So using the Typhoon H and its automated flight modes. We've done a lot of work getting automated flight modes that will help you get your shots without having to know how to pilot it in a very advanced way. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about all those features. This first one is point of interest, and instead of me explaining it here, I'll explain it to you while I'm in China. Now what I'm doing is I'm going to set, and I are going to do a journey. Little bit of technical difficulty there. So right now what I'm doing is I'm going to set a point of interest over the temple. I'm going to show what is going to be center. I'm going to set that point in the ST16, and I'm going to pull back and start an orbit, which will give me a perfect shot of the temple. So as you can see, I set the center point in the middle of the temple, and then I just press go, and it gets me in orbit at the radius that I pulled the drone back to. I am so happy with this point of interest.
Yeah, it's very easy for the flyer.
That was David. So right now, I'm not doing anything. The drone is flying on its own, doing an orbit around the temple, getting me a beautiful, beautiful shot. So an point of interest mode is very, very useful, and it gets these nice, slow, beautiful shots orbiting around an object. So we got point of interest. That's a great one. The next mode that I'd like to talk about is journey mode. When drones started to become a very social thing, people started to photograph themselves from the drone, and the term became droney. And it can be a photo or it can be a video where you start at yourself and you pull out to show the environment that you're in. Creates a really cool type of video. So we call that journey mode, and this is how it works. And I are going to do a journey shot for the behind the scenes video. So in journey mode, you point the camera at yourself, and depending on the pitch of the camera, the drone will go up and out at that angle. So let's do it, David. So as you can see, the drone's camera was pointed at about a 45-degree angle, still getting some horizon, and it goes back and out. And in the ST16 controller that we have for the Typhoon H, you can adjust the distance that it goes far away. So to elaborate a little bit more, if you point the camera straight ahead, the drone won't gain altitude and it will go straight back. If you point the camera straight down, the drone won't move, but it will go straight up. And same at about a 45-degree angle. It'll go up and out. So that's journey mode, our version of a droney. Something else we have baked into the Typhoon H is our follow mode. On the follow mode, it'll follow your controller, and this is a little demo I did in China. What I'm going to do right now is a follow mode along the bridge. I'm going to use Watch Me, and the drone is going to automatically, without using the remote, without me giving it any inputs, it's going to track me so that I get beautiful footage of myself in this environment. So I'm not touching the controller whatsoever. I'm walking and the drone is following me. While it's following you, you can actually take control of the right stick and change its orientation around you in a circular motion. So the follow me modes are really cool. And off the follow me modes, we have a product called the Wizard. The Wizard is a small remote. It's much smaller than any conventional remote controllers, and you get all the same functions. You can control your drone as if you have a regular controller. And we have point to fly. What that means is you point the controller where you want the drone to go, click and hold for 3 seconds, and the drone knows where and how high you were pointing. So in a follow me setting, that's a really great feature to have. Going off of point of interest, there's the orbit me mode, and it's essentially a point of interest about you. I'm going to go into the task modes and select orbit. I'm going to press start, and when I press left or right, the drone will either orbit me left or orbit me right. So let's go left. as you can see, I'm not touching anything. The drone is flying automatically. So if you want your orbit to go bigger, all you do is push away from you on the controller, and the orbit will get much, much bigger. So while you're in an orbit, as you can see, you can start really close and then you can pull back, again, kind of getting that focusing on you and then showing the environment that you're in. So those are 3 of the task modes. We also have one called curved cable cam, and on the curved cable cam, it's really exciting for me because as a single operator, it allows you to actually use the drone in dual operation mode. So what that means is in curved cable cam, you fly to all the points that you want to set, and then you can let the drone do that mission. While it's doing that mission, you can take control of the camera and just focus on the camera movements. And that, as a single operator, is one of the biggest amazing things about the Typhoon H. So with such an advanced controller, we have a lot of options to enable creators to get these dynamic shots that they really want. And one of them is auto pan. Auto pan is set by a dial on the drone, so you can pan left or right, and you control the speed of that pan. So here is when I was in Alaska. Well, that was not. Auto pan is not working. So with the auto pan, you flip a switch and the pan will just start moving automatically. So you can fly a straight line and the drone will pan, and it adds another layer of movement to your video. Another thing I like to do is aerial panoramas. And so this is a time lapse of editing an aerial panorama. When you're shooting aerial panoramas, you want to overlap by about 1/3 so that Photoshop or Lightroom can really stitch your images together. So that's the final image. And something I really want to leave you guys with is that the way to people's hearts is through wonder. Through their hearts, you get their attention. And in the space that we're in, where we're creating, where there's a lot of noise, getting people to really engage with you and your content is very, very important. So you saw how I was using the task modes and how I was able to use the Typhoon H to film, to make a film about Jingxi Town and to tell a story. So without further ado, I want to show you guys the film that I made in Jingxi Town. So the Thank you. So the Typhoon H opens up a whole new door to the creative possibilities of telling your story. And again, I want to emphasize the fact that it's not necessarily about the aerial footage, but it's about the story. That these are only tools to be telling a story that will engage people and let them learn something or really influence them. After going to that place in China, it really got me thinking about legacy and history. That town was 2,000 years old. And while I was very interested in documenting that town, a lot of the people who live in the area were kind of like, why are you doing it there? And showing them this film really showed the people who live locally how beautiful their area actually is. And it opened their eyes in a whole new way to the beauty in the world. So the Typhoon H, I'm so excited for it to release. And thank you guys so much.
Whether you're a hobbyist or a professional, B&H has the answers to your questions. Experience a world of technology at our New York City Superstore. Connect with us online or give us a call. Our staff of experts is happy to help.